Hey, up next on the MARR Army Rock Show, we've got Steve and Gordon with Images of Eden, and actually, I believe it's actually album release day for the band for their new record, Soul Rise, or real close to it if it's not the right day. Steve, Gordon, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks so much, man. Appreciate it.
So, yeah, man, let's talk about Soul Rise in just a minute. Before we do that, I know this project is very special to you two, so let's talk a little bit about the storied history and the bio of Images of Eden.
Okay, yeah, this is Gordon. I'm going to give you a very quick pre-Soul Rise bio and then mainly kind of go into that. Long story short, I started the project back in 2001 as sort of a vision that I had that I wanted to bring to life. You know, I've been in and out of bands and recorded the first album with a session drummer, kind of put the first lineup together after that, released the second album. Lineup changed after that, then did the third album, Rebuilding the Ruins. After that, we sort of took some time and I did a couple of side projects, and big thing at that point in time was we reformed the band to what is now the permanent full-time lineup, and we sort of rebranded and kind of shifted our focus a little bit into what I think is a much, I don't want to say improved version, but yeah, I'm going to say that. And so essentially that, you know, Steve and I worked on Born of Fire's Dead Winter Sun together back in 2014, and that's how we kind of met up and kind of gave him the tunes for Images Soul Rise, and he, you know, was on board right away. At that point in time, we had to go through some lineup changes. We brought in Carlos Arquidi on guitar and Eric Mulvane on bass. Dean Harris was already with us on keyboards. And this is our biggest and most important album to date, and yet you're absolutely right. This is release day, and a day we've been waiting several years for. So really appreciate you sharing it with us, brother.
Yeah, so I'm honored to get you on the day of the release of the album. And hey, I'm just going to ask you a different question, but just popped into my mind. Like, what is release day like for a band? You know, it's out. Are you checking numbers? Are you just sitting back enjoying the fact that it's out, or reading stuff? What are you doing on release day? I mean, you're talking to me, but what else are you doing?
Well, you know, we're bridging contacts, you know, and making sure that our social media for our band, you know, is all handled, and making sure, you know, all the logistics, you know, the links are all available for everybody, and all the things, you know, technical things that we need to make sure that are permanently in place, you know, for this release, and then the label kind of handles the rest. But yeah, it's just interacting with all the messages we get and all the love that people give us, and yeah, it's pretty exciting.
So tell us a little bit about the actual making of the record. How long was the record in the making, and where was it recorded, and who produced it?
Well, yeah, okay. There has been a history of kind of a lengthy time in between Images albums. I can first say that will never happen again. The reason it happened was just due to individual circumstances, and in between Ruins and Soul Rise, a lot had happened. Started writing for this back in 2011 and pieced it together over the course of the next couple of years. The writing process was really intense this time. It's you know, it's kind of hard to explain. I kind of just get into this zone where I just sort of feel the inspiration come very fluidly. And what I did is I captured all of the moments and wrote all the songs. Now, here's where it gets unique. As far as where it was recorded, all 5 members of Images of Eden are kind of spread out. We're not your typical, you know, band where everybody's located in the same area. We have, you know, rehearsal every week. Gordon, myself, I am in New York, Pennsylvania. Dean Harris on keyboards is in Baltimore, Maryland. Carlos Arquidi on lead guitar lives in Chihuahua, Mexico. Eric Mulvane on bass lives in Traverse City, Michigan, and Steve on the line with us here is in, Steve Dorsum is in Phoenix, Arizona. So what happened was, as soon as the demos were done, I sent music to Steve with a click track. He recorded drums. I recorded rhythm guitar on top of his drums, and then we basically just sent it all out, farmed it out to all 5 of us. We all did our parts. Everybody sent their tracks to me, and at the time, you know, we once everything was done, we sent everything off to our producer, Bill Matoyer. Bill Matoyer is a huge name in rock and metal and one of the biggest producers in the world for the genre. total powerhouse and legendary producer. He did the album, and then we flew out to finish it up last October, and at that time, kind of wrapped it up, and Bill really helped us eke the deal with Pavement Entertainment. So that's a little history of the album.
Yeah, it is a unique way of doing it, and gosh, the modern world, man, you couldn't have done that 25 years ago, so it's really cool you were able to record it that way.
No way.
Hey, you got an award-winning music video out there with Shield Me. Why don't you tell folks about that music video?
Sure, this is Steve, and I actually directed and produced it, and Gordon wrote most of the story treatment, although I helped it along a little bit to get it carved up and ready for film. But it was a great experience just because of the fact it was close to the heart for me as being a member of the band, knowing the message, the vision that we had firsthand, and then being able to direct this thing. So there was no better combination that you can come up with for this. I think it came out incredible. We started off with a very organic, real issue that we faced in today's world, and a lot of it we've been touched with firsthand, each one of us in some way. So it was very heartfelt when we put this together. There was a lot of magical things involved, how the story really evolved as we were filming it. And we had a great Hollywood powerhouse production crew along with me producing and directing this. We had a very outstanding cast of actors, and they really bought into the story and really put their hearts in it. As you can see when you watch the video, it's real. It is real, and you can really grab hold of this and relate to it, and I think a lot of people have and can. So just to see how this turned out was just phenomenal. Hats off to Chris Sheffield, my director of photography, and Steve Wargo, one of my directors of production, who just really hit a home run with this and helped me make really great vision come to light.
So I just saw a post when I was prepping for this. The lyrics are posted out there on a website. There's a note that says the lyrics are italicized and non-italicized for a reason. Can you elaborate on that for folks?
Absolutely. This is something I hope that gets spread far and wide. The entire album is a narrative. It's a concept album. I don't let that scare you, because sometimes it does. Concept albums, you think it's a collection of 15 to 20 songs that all don't make sense unless you listen to them together, and that's absolutely not the case. Every single song is a standalone song. It's got its own hook. It's got its own, balls and chunk, I guess, for lack of a better word. But the lyrics, when you actually read them from beginning to end, it takes on a very real narrative. I don't want to go too much into detail about what it is. I would just very much encourage everyone to just kind of take a look and check it out. And if you go to the imagesofeden.com website and click on the lyrics page, you'll see it's actually color-coded along with the italicized and non-italicized lyrics. Like I said, I definitely encourage everybody to check it out because I think it's going to speak to everybody.
In their own way.
In their own way, yeah. So I hope they get it, even a fraction out of it that we've got out of it when we were writing this thing.
So I know the record's out today. Are you guys doing anything in the way of like a CD release show or some kind of a celebratory live show for this thing?
I wish we were, and just due to the fact that we're scattered all over the country and out of the country, it just, it didn't happen that way. We've been playing some big shows, and we're just coming off a big one just recently, so we kind of used that as our pre-release party, if you will. And so we played with Jeff Tate on the Operation Mindcrime 30-year anniversary tour at Stop here in Phoenix, and it was just an incredible show with an incredible crowd response. And so anyway, just due to the fact that we're spread out all over the place, it just doesn't make sense right now. We've got some bigger shows coming up, and we've got a lot of office work to do, if you will, just during release time here to kind of get this thing kicked in the rear, and then we're going to be hitting it hard.
So, one of the things you don't see a lot anymore is really cool album artwork these days, but you guys have some great album artwork. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, we stumbled stumbled on a phenomenal artist, Jan Erlin from darkgrove.net. I kind of came upon his work when I did work for a local guitar player. Now, K-Rock, you may know Kurt Shaw from the local scene. He was he'd been in and out of bands over the years. Really good guitar player and great guy. Unfortunately, he's passed. We lost him a couple of years ago, but he and I had been friends for about 15 years. Played shows together. I did a couple of tracks on his solo record, and Jan actually did the artwork for his album, and I said, he's got to do ours. Now, it was kind of odd because the original Soul Rise cover was done by Matthias Noren, who is an incredible artist. But the thing is, he's more progressive. He does amazing progressive art, progressive rock, progressive metal art. And as awesome as the cover was, it just didn't quite work exactly with what we were trying to say and what it was about. And, we had the album almost done, and the only thing that was lacking was nailing down the artwork. And I said, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm sure the artwork will, we'll find out what we want to do when it comes time. And one day it just smacked me in the face. It was like bam, it hit me, and I just saw it. I kind of just, all right, keep that mental picture. And I took a couple of hours and sketched out exactly what I was seeing, and sort of a rough thing. Sent it over to Steve, and he was like, that's it. Yeah, we were both just like on the phone, like, this is our album. Okay, great. So I sent it to Jan and gave him some specific elements that needed to be in the cover, but wanted him to kind of do his own thing. And when he presented us this album cover, I think we both our jaws hit the floor. This thing was just spot on, awesome.
Yeah, it's one of those that just grabs you right in the beginning, and like, that's it. Thank you.
And if I had to go and get into what, the meaning behind the album cover, when they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, this is a perfect example of that, because there's a lot going on, a lot of symbolism, and there's a lot of things that are just represented in here. But, yeah.
Well, the album is called Soul Rise, and we've appreciated you guys being here. Now, real quick, before I let you go, look ahead 1 year. What is your goal for the band in a year? Is it to be on tour? Is it just to continue to grow the brand? What's your goal like for about a year from now for this band?
Well, I think, I'd like to see this album do very well here the rest of this year. I'd like to see us definitely on some bigger name tours, and definitely getting out all over the U.S., out of the country, and, start tracking our second follow-up album so it's in our back pocket and ready. So when the time is right, boom, the things get going out, and we're going to put the pedal to the metal.
Absolutely.
Well, they are Steve and Gordon from Images of Eden, I'd say from York, Baltimore, Phoenix, and Mexico all together, yeah. It sounds like. So
in Michigan.
Maybe Kansas City somewhere. It sounds like it's in the middle of all those places.
That's actually where I'm from.
There you go.
Originally.
Kind of lands there in the middle of all those places. So, hey, we appreciate you guys being here. Good luck on this album release day of Soul Rise. Once again, the band's Images of Eden. Steve, Gordon, thanks so much for being here.